Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to another little video. We are out in the woodlands again. It's still May 2020. We're still in that period of the COVID virus, and we're just trying to keep away from people this morning and get a bit of exercise on my legs. I've come to Delamere Forest, which isn't far from me. I'm trying to stay local at the moment because we've not got free rein, and with social distancing and everything. You can see the car park. I've just come through the car park and the car park's empty. We've actually had a couple of days of high winds, so they've closed the car parks anyway. I don't want to go that way, I want to go this way. So yeah, I'm going to take you to a little lake that's not too well known in Delamere Forest. I'm not sure, I can't remember what it's called now. There is actually a name for there's a name for this little lake. So I'll pop it up on the screen for you. And I'll also put up a couple of little pictures that I've taken previously when I've been down here, pre-vlogging times. And yeah, that's the plan, to go and have a look at that. Get me heart rate up a little bit, a bit of a walk. I've got my big pack on my back. So it's weighing me down, which is making my legs work a little bit. It's just nice being out in the morning. It's early, it's only 7 o'clock, and that's a tree stump. It's only 7 o'clock. So there's no one around at the moment. The gate's closed there. There's a lot of trees on the ground, a lot of dead wood around. I needed to go through that gate, so I had to walk round by the looks of it. That's not too easy. If that gate's closed, I'm going to have to go down the pathway. So let's head back towards the car park and then round to the main track down. Right, I'll see you when I get to the lake. Otherwise, this will end up another epic long one. Well, made it to the lake, and it's never lets you down. It's nice and still and calm. I'm yet to have the perfect misty morning here, but I know by showing you this image there that I got something pretty close once with some fog, reflections. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous morning that was. But yeah, this is not so well known, but looking at all these bloody bottles and bags and tin cans and beer and stuff, and look, there's some more down here as well. Look at this, what an absolute bunch of twats. Sorry my French. Look, plastic bottles there, plastic bottles there. So what an absolute waste of time coming to a nice location like this. Oh Christ, look, another one there. There are bottles all over the place. Why come to these locations and then leave your crap? Take it home with you. You obviously come here because it's nice, so keep it nice. Oh, jeez. anyway, rant over. Just by doing a little bit of B-roll, and you've just seen me clip off of it. I found my first image. Look at this. Look at this stunning, stunning old tree trunk reflection. You've got a chunk of sawn off wood there. And I just think in a vertical shot with the top framed with these leaves up there, I think would make an absolutely gorgeous image. And that tree's not going to be there much longer because the root line at the bottom where it goes into the water is getting thinner and thinner, so eventually that's going to fall over, and you've got some lovely reflections in the background. So if I only take one image today, which is very unlikely for me, that's probably it. But I also like that as well. I like the little bit of green foliage sticking out the side, which actually means that tree's still alive, which is pretty amazing. But I like that little bit of foliage and the light reflecting through it. It is a lovely location. There's some nice reflections over on the far bank as well, which might make a nice 50-50 image, especially round this way. As you come round this way, the reflections are brightening up because it's early morning and the sun's there. And oh my God, look at this. Bottle, can. Seriously? And I thought this place was a little bit more unknown. Yeah. Some lovely reflections over there, so we'll get the bigger lens out and maybe do a couple of little crops. So I'm not going to take too long this morning. I'm going to take a few images and then get away before too many people come out. But yeah, it's just really nice being out and visiting the forest again. And this is a big forest, Delamere. It's in Cheshire. It's quite a big forest. It's a pine forest, so it's not too fancy, but there's a lot to look for, a lot to explore. There's a big lake over the other side, which is pretty big now. An awful lot of birds, wild fowl, I don't know what you call them, bird life anyway. So yeah, let's get the camera out, let's get this image before the light turns into storms and I lose everything. I think I've settled on an image. I'm just going to take it while the light's out. 2-second timer's on, obviously. I've got f11, just because I've got a nice depth, because I want to keep the reflections in the background as well. But I will try one, just because I'm here and because I can. I'm going to try one at f5.6 as well, focus on the tree. I think that's because it gives me that option when I get back, that if I want to just fuzz out the background a little bit more, I can. And you have to excuse the handheld, I'm being a bit handheld today. And I've got some new glasses on if anyone's noticed. These are cheap ones. These have been on all those adverts you've seen, those Google glasses or goggles or whatever they are. Yeah, they were about 19 quid. They've got no reactor light in them, so it means I can actually see what you guys see, to be honest, and not always in the dark like I normally do. I've just taken a couple of shots, one a bit brighter, one a bit darker. I've zoomed in to get rid of some of the reflection. I did take a picture from where I stood just over there, but I wasn't quite sure whether it worked or not. The reason being is because I had a bit of sky in it, and it looks better without the sky. Like shooting from this direction, I had this little chunk of sky up there, and I'll show you it anyway, but it didn't quite work for me, I don't think, whereas this one does. I think the ideal position would be in this water, but there is no chance I'm stepping in that, not at all. But yeah, it's just nice being here, and it's really nice and quiet, and it's nice taking a few pictures as well. Like I say, I'm not going to spend all morning here. My eyes keep focusing on these bottles and glasses in the water, and I'm sorry anyone that thinks I should pick them up and take them with me. I don't know what's on them. There's not a chance I'm going to touch anything I don't have to. Camera bag, tripod, I'm not touching anything else. So yeah, I think it's time to get a couple of reflections. I quite like that, I do quite like that. I think maybe I might try this one, like I said, behind, of the little greenage with the light reflecting on it while the light's still quite low. And I like this twisty tree as well. I like the fact of the tree with the 3 twisty stumps sticking out. There's lots. I just like the woodland. I'm not a brilliant woodland photographer, but I do like the woodland. And wow, look at them trees moving up there. Can you see that? Let me see if I can get in a position where you can see it. Just between there, you can see the trees swaying backwards and forwards. How mad is that? They are literally swaying like that. But yeah, it is, it's a gorgeous morning. And this is a lovely little lake, always quiet, always quiet. So I've got the camera set up quite high, as you can see beside me, it's above my head, and that's so I'm trying to get rid of the sky. So by going up high and pointing the camera down slightly, I can get rid of that skyline a little bit. I've zoomed in quite tight. All I wanted was that little bush, or the little bit of the tree sticking out the side, and it is actually growing out the tree, so it definitely is still alive, and I don't know how that's still alive. Not unless it's a seed that's got in there, which I suppose it could be. Yeah, so I've gone in quite tight, cropped it in quite tight just to get the little tree, and I've had to stand here for about 10-15 minutes waiting for the light just to pop through the clouds, because it's gone very cloudy up there now. And just looking around, there's a beautiful S that's floating across the water at the moment. You can't quite see it on there, but there's an S in the like the fungi sort of stuff that's sitting on the water, but there's nothing interesting behind it. So if that floats, if that actually moves over and floats round towards these nice popping out greens over that way, I can use that S as a bit of foreground, or even as a little tree. There's a cluster of trees with some light on them. That would look absolutely fantastic. And the ducks are going over there now. Looks like mother duck and the little chicks going that direction. I'm just enjoying this though, it's just nice. I've taken that image already, because like I say, I had a fleeting moment, the light popped out between the clouds for probably 35 seconds. Took the image. It was at 5.6, f5.6. I was going to wind it up to f11 as well, but I didn't get time. But if it lights up again, I will take it. The polarizer's on the front, but I've not got the polarizer eliminating the reflection, but I have got it just toning down the lightness in the reflection, if that makes any sense. Not sure how long I'm going to stay. I'm going to have a wander around. I'm going to have a couple of the reflections, maybe put the 10 stop on or the 6 stop, just to smooth out the water a little bit, because the wind's picked up a little bit more again now. But yeah, it's just I'm just going to keep repeating myself. It's just nice being out. I could do it being up in the hills, try that out, but at the moment I'm happy just being back out and enjoying this. It's so peaceful. I could just about hear the birds singing and tweeting, but not like when I was out at Bickerton Hill the other day. They were really loud. Right, let's see if I can find another image for you and try and talk you through it. Back on the waiting game. I'm about to take my coat off, got a bit warm. Got this lovely little tree set up now, right across the other side of the lake, just there. It's got 3 stumps, it's like 3 twisty old stumps in front of it, and the tree's growing behind it. And it just looks really nice. Here comes the light, 2-second timer. The light's just popping out again. Fantastic. fantastic. What a beautiful little image. I really like that. I really like it. It's really simple for the Woodland. I'm going to take one at f11 as well. That was a 6.4. Let's go up to f11, get everything nice and sharp in it as well. You've got this nice green reflections. The polarizers just making them greens just come alive. And the Fuji just absolutely loves greens. And the trees, because it's got this bright foliage in the top, it's just standing out against the others. The three trunks and then the reflection in the water. I've also done a tighter one as well, so that's really quite nice, that is. I really like that. It's a shame that twisty bit of S stuff isn't moving across, but you can see it over in the distance there. It's just there. It's just trying to drift across, but it's not moving. It's actually blowing across the lake a little bit. But yeah, that was inevitable, wasn't it? The battery was going to go flat. And I came out this morning, I got my camera out. I've got this camera that I'm using in my hand, got it out the car this morning. Thinking I'm not going to carry 2 tripods, so I've just got it handheld and clipping it on me clip on my bag. And yeah, I got halfway around the woods, realised I haven't brought a spare battery. But luckily enough, because I'm one of these people that is just in case, I've got an emergency spare battery in the bottom of this bag. I've got one for every camera in the bottom of this bag, which is obviously why it makes it heavy, but at this time it's really paid off, so I can carry on recording. So yeah, that's that image done. And that twisty bit of foliage, frothy stuff, is actually moving around. So I might just move the camera over that way a little bit and see if I can get a slightly different angle on it and take this shot again. And then I'm going to go over that way, get a couple of shots over there of the reflections in the woods, and we'll head off back then. So I've had a little bit of a walk along the edge of this lake just here. It's not very big, it's only a small one. And as I get further and further round, the sun starts to get into your face. So you're losing those nice reflections. So I think the best images of reflections and stuff like that are definitely this side of the lake. Now, this looks quite pretty. What's caught my eye, if I can show you, what's caught my eye is this branch. And you can see this branch just draping out that way. So it's sort of leading into the image, and then when the sun catches them, you've got the light trees there, that big cluster of trees. So I like the idea of that branch, wherever it is there, leading you into the image, with these ones being on your frame on the right, and then taking you over to the reflections and just the nice soft morning glow. That's kind of what I want. So I'm gonna have to take this lens off, which is the 50-140. I have to take that off because that's what I use to get that tree over there. Put the other lens on and just see if this will work, just to get one more shot, I think, before we head back. It's just turned 8 o'clock, so I've been out an hour now, and I've just seen a couple of cyclists, so people will start getting up and heading in this direction. So I'm going to head back. Denise will be up by now. She's gone to pick her daughter up from the hospital. She works there, she's okay. So yeah, let's get the camera set up for this. I think that's quite a nice, pleasing shot. And it's be a horizontal shot as well, rather than a vertical, which I've taken so far. Yeah, quite nice, quite nice. Let's get the lens on it and have a look. I think it'll work. I think it will. Okay, so I've got my composition set up. Like I say, I've gone vertical. I'll make sure I kept the horizon nice and straight with this electrical horizon line. Make sure my 2-second timer is on, so I'm ready. I'm on f11, ISO 160, which is giving me 1/4 of a second. And all I want to do now is wait for that light to pop out. Now I've put the polarizer on the front again, and if I turn the polarizer, we should be able to see a bit of a difference as it goes round. Let's have a quick look. We can see it just pulls out them greens, and that's what I want to do, pull out them greens. Now that's my composition set up. As you can see on the back of the camera there, that's my composition. I've gone in quite tight so that the bottom of this tree is catching the right of the bottom corner there, and then I'm trying to cut out all the sky from the image as I, the best I can. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open the zoom back out a little bit, and I'm now getting a bit of a sky in there and a bit of sky in the bottom. And the reason I'm doing that is if I go in too tight to take the photograph, when I get back I'll have no room for mistakes. So this will give me the chance, and I can then crop that down slightly just to get that image exactly where I want it. So I just don't want to lose the tops of the trees on the top of the image there, and I don't want to clip the edge of the corner. So I'm on bracketing. I'm going to set my bracketing to 0, which is going to be somewhere around there anyway. Nothing seems to be moving. Let's have a look. Right, I'm going to set my exposure to 0, and I'm just going to drop it down 1 just to pull the highlight, because the highlight's just clipping there, and that's where it's up in the sky at the top. But this is going to take a set of 5 shots, and that way it will give me all the dynamic range all the way through the darker areas. But I probably won't use them. I'll probably only end up using the 1 shot. So I'm going to take that shot now as the light's just about to come out. Here it comes, just that nice soft pleasing light. And you can see the image on the screen right now. I'm sure it looks fantastic. That is a lovely little shot, and I'm just going to take it again as a single exposure, just like that. And I really think that's a pretty little shot. There may be a little bit of cloning I might have to do because there's some really very straight twigs in the background, but I think personally that is a very pleasing image. Now the composition's quite difficult, and I'll just move my camera slightly. I've just twisted it round just ever so slightly, like so. Yeah, the composition is very simple. Leading line leading you in, and then the green foliage. There's nothing fancy about it, and you've got a bit of reflection in the water, which is quite nice. And I might just bring that reflection back up a little bit as well with the polarizer, because I can always paint that back in afterwards. But it's about being simple, about something that catches your eye. The tree caught my eye. I just like that arch of the tree there. So that caught my eye, and then I'm trying to work out why it caught my eye. Obviously because it's an arch, it looks like a lead in, and when I look across the lake I've got a lead in. I've got somewhere for the eye to settle at the background. And those greens, it just cries woodland. So I'm going to end this here. I'm going to head back home. I'm going to drink my coffee. I've got some coffee in my bag somewhere, as normal. I'm going to get my coffee out. I'm just going to stand here for a little while, soak in this environment while we can. Have another 5 minutes, and head back and see the wife and get some breakfast. But yeah, until then, I'm going to enjoy this. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And it's just nice being back out. I've had a couple of negative comments recently, or over the last month or two, with the lockdown stuff. I've been putting out a few review stuff on gear and things that I've been sent and asked if I'd take a look at. And to me, it's just been filling space. This is what I really like to do. I really like to be out in the open, hopefully trying to teach you to suck eggs, teach you, I don't know what the word, I don't know what the phrase is. Yeah, just trying to teach you some simple stuff. Anyone that's really good at this landscape lark doesn't need to know what I'm doing. But if you do, if you're new to it and you're trying to pick up different hints and techniques, I hope that I find the odd thing as I go along to try and show you. One thing I will just say before we go, keep an eye on your histogram. Make sure your histogram's not over in the right hand side. If it's too far in the right hand side, you've gone too far to the right, head back over to the left a little bit. But yeah, till next time, I'm going to enjoy this. Cheers and ciao for now.